Do you want to know why I don't go to a bake shop to get fresh bread rolls? That's why I make them myself in my oven at home. Look at that. Delicious. Stay tuned if you want to know how that works. Servus and welcome to Flo's German kitchen. I'm Flo, this is my kitchen, and I show you how to cook the German way. In the comments below my videos, people have kept asking for Brötchen, Semmeln, German bread rolls, and one of the many varieties of Semmeln that we have in Germany is what we're doing today. Wonderful Sonntag Semmeln, Sunday morning rolls, easy to make, easy to prepare, and that's what we're gonna do now. We need a couple of flours, water, salt, yeast, olive oil, and of course a good guzzle of German beer on a Sunday morning. Wunderbar. Let's start with the water. In many videos about baking, whatever, bread, rolls, you will see people start with pouring the flour. But actually that doesn't make sense, because if you pour the flour first and then the water, you will always have a layer of flour that's just on the bowl, and that will take ages to really mix with the water. That's why I put the water first and then go on with the flour. This is 50 grams of wheat whole grain flour. This is optional, but I think if you add a little whole grain flour, it just adds a little something to the rolls. And this is 450 grams of wheat bread flour, German 550 type. If you decide not to use any of the whole grain flour, just take 500 grams of this. We add 10 grams of salt, 7 grams of fresh yeast. If you're using active dry yeast, just take half the weight, so that's 3.5 grams, and those are 30 grams of olive oil. This is already it. There is nothing special about the order. You add the ingredients in, just add everything. Take your bowl to the kneading machine and start at low speed. So you let the machine knead it at low speed for 2 to 3 minutes, just so that all the ingredients get mixed well. After that, you increase the speed, not necessarily to full speed, but yeah, just a little more speed for another 8 to 10 minutes. So here we have it, a smooth Semmelteig. Now what you want to do is the Fenster test, just to see if it's ready. Put a little flour on your fingertips. Just take a little piece of dough, make a little ball, and then start spreading it like this. And if you see it doesn't tear, but you can almost see through it, that's why it's called the window check. Yeah, Beautiful. Next thing you want to do is to let the dough rest in one piece for 30 minutes at room temperature. I put it in a box for that purpose. And yeah, just cover the bottom with a little oil so the dough doesn't stick. And you can see this is quite a soft dough, but don't worry, you will shape beautiful bread rolls with that later. Now it needs rest, room temperature, 30 minutes. Cover it and have a good time, maybe with a guzzle of beer. Wunderbar. So the dough had its rest for, yeah, it was a bit more than 30 minutes, and you see it grew quite a lot. Not a problem because it's gonna be shaped into rolls later, and yeah, everything's all right. Get it out of the box just the way it is. Just make sure there is enough flour under it so it doesn't stick to the counter. And now what you want to do is cut it to 8 equal pieces. If you want bigger rolls, you can probably make 6 pieces. If you want smaller ones, of course, more pieces. Doesn't matter. But I think making 8 will just make the right size. So what you do next is get a little more flour and then throw one side on the flour and then start the process that I have no idea what it's called in English. In German it's called Teigschleifen. And you just want to get some tension on the surface. You can either do that on the counter with using that claw, or you can even do it just that way. You just take it from the top, stick it to the bottom of the roll, and the result you want is that you have the surface here with some tension on the surface. We don't want to do the round Semmeln today. We're gonna make the Semmeln that are a bit more common in the north of Germany, and for that you just give it some lengthy shape. Just put your fingers in, pull them over the surface of the counter, then you have some sort of a cut here. It doesn't matter. What you do next is take, for example, a cutting board or anything else that you want to place in your refrigerator later. Put some kitchen cloth on it, and then you put it with the closed side on the bottom. Make a little crease here so that they stay in shape. Next one. This is probably a bit small, but anyway. Yeah, I start like that because for some reason my counter is just not sticky enough to start with that claw. But yeah, now it works. Again, shape your hands like this, so these two fingers somehow, when rolling this, they also always just push the dough on the bottom and create that round shaped ball with a slight tension on the surface. And then get it some longer shape, put it on the kitchen cloth. Now you got this too. Get the next one, and you will find that this is a bit difficult to handle, but it actually is not. And also the next morning when they rested in the refrigerator, they will be much more, let's say, solid and easier to handle. So don't worry. This is all gonna be fine, and you will have really delicious bread rolls in the end. Think you got it? I think you got it, so you don't have to watch me roll more balls of dough. I'll just make a cut here and come back when I put it in the fridge. So next thing is to wrap them in the cloth. And put that whole thing in the ref. This waits for at least 6 hours. Perfect is to just keep it there overnight, and the next day you will have everything you need to have wonderful rolls for breakfast. See you tomorrow. Well, not really tomorrow, but you know what I mean. Cheers. Wunderbar. Of course, we are not gonna wait overnight. I've prepared another set of rolls already there in the fridge. What I've also done is that I heated up the oven to 260 degrees Celsius, and I added a small casserole with lava stones. We're gonna need that later to get some steam in the oven. So let's get the rolls. Now that's what you want on a Sunday morning. They're almost prepared. Just one more thing we have to do is we need to put them on, well, for me it's a pizza shovel. That's one thing. Carefully place them upside down. And yeah, these are only 6 because I had 2 of them for breakfast already. And they were delicious. And one thing you want to do is just make a little cut at an angle of 45 degrees. Just a little one. And yeah, you need a knife as sharp as possible, but yeah, that's gonna work out. And also what you need to prepare is some water. I'm using a spray bottle like that. When they're in the oven, I'm gonna tell you how you can do that without a crazy oven like mine. So let's get these guys and give them some heat. And spray the water. And reduce the temperature to 230 degrees. For the first 10 minutes, the rolls are gonna bake with the steam in the, let's say, in the chamber. And then after 10 minutes, you open the oven, release the steam, and give them another 15 minutes, just so that they are baked golden brown. You probably don't have an oven like this, but there is a solution. The one thing you do is you use one layer with a pizza stone, and below that layer you put a baking pan, and you just pour the water on that baking pan, close the door, and you will have wonderful steam and beautiful rolls. So we wait until the 10 minutes are done. Then I'm gonna release the steam, and for that I take out this casserole. I just call it casserole, and you can see they got much bigger I don't want to start them freezing, so back to the oven and another 10 to 15 minutes. I'll just put this away. The purpose of the steam is that the rolls don't start building a crust immediately, so that they got some flexibility to rise up. And from the moment you have released the steam, that's when it starts building the crust. You want that nice golden brown, not too dark, but yet crunchy, and that's gonna happen in about 10 to 15 minutes. 24 minutes. I think that's enough. Yeah, we got a nice golden brown crust. That looks good. I'll get these guys out of the oven. Next thing you want to do is to just leave them on a cooling rack for, too hot. We got that still here. Leave them on a cooling rack for a couple of minutes, and then you have wonderful, wonderful bread rolls. Look at this. Still warm, tasty, lovely German rolls. Now let's try them. Nice crust. Yeah. This is just perfect, and you can have that at any time of the day, not just on Sunday mornings. You can have it with sausage, you can have it with ham, with a bratwurst, with a leberkas, and if you have a sweet tooth, you can have it with jam or stuff like that. This is delicious. Cheers to German baking. Cheers to nice and simple Semmeln. Wunderbar.